This bird is literally flying in place.
You can post this on Reddit.
What is going on?
Think that's an eye? Wrong. That's a camera.
Birds are government-controlled spy drones on.
The phrase, birds aren't real, is something we hear surprisingly often in today's world, the 2022 world. But what does that mean? Well, exactly what it sounds like. Birds aren't real. Well, they are real, but not in the way you think they are. The phrase, birds aren't real, was likely originally used to spread awareness of a genocide of 12 billion birds in 1973.
1970s, birds were disappearing in mass numbers, and people immediately began to speculate that the government was getting rid of them and replacing them with bird drones.
But now the phrase, birds aren't real, has a very different and, frankly, in my opinion, sinister meaning. Today in 2022, when someone says birds aren't real, typically this suggests or is related to the theory or idea that birds we see in our sky every day are no longer real, living, breathing, blood pumping through their veins birds. No, instead, the birds you and I see every day flying around in the sky, those have been replaced. By whom and with what, you may ask? Well, they've been replaced with drones maybe, or surveillance, or many other insidious options. Replaced by the deep state, or some kind of shadow government that makes all of the decisions behind the scenes, trying to push their agenda in the shadows, allegedly. BirdsAren'tReal.com. This website allegedly has all sorts of evidence backing up or proving the theory, including things such as leaked CIA documents, political figures posing with birds, history of CIA programs to kill and replace all birds. But there is something about this website that you should know. It's all fake. Every bit of it. The website creator himself doesn't believe birds aren't real. Birds Aren't Real started from a January 2017 Memphis Women's March, where a man named Peter McIndoe saw protesters. He wanted to protest the protesters, so he made his own sign. And he put the craziest thing he could think of on the sign. And at the time, his craziest idea was birds aren't real. People began asking him what his sign meant, so he had to make up something on the spot. And that was what we discussed previously, the genocide of a large amount of birds in 73. The video of Peter at the Women's March went viral, and people all over were hashtagging, shouting, making merchandise, saying birds aren't real.
Birds look normal until you dig deeper. They sit on the wires to recharge.
Then came the government deep state replacement theory.
Birds are government drones. We know this, but we don't talk enough about the time that the government actually admitted to it. During World War II, bombs were either super inaccurate or a suicide mission or both. So psychologist B.F. Skinner said, "Let's make the pigeons do it." Skinner put together a team and they made this nose cone for pigeon pilots to guide bombs. And this project was largely funded by the government along with multiple other secret weapons projects at the time. But how did the pigeons actually control the direction of the missile? Well, they were put in this little contraption with a screen in front of their heads where they could peck at the target and then their head and body movements would guide the missile. Here's a video of how it worked. I guess all I have to say is that
According to a few interviews Peter has given, he has come clean and said it was all satire. And he was just trying to protest the protesters in a way, But at the same time, he's also set up a website. There is merchandise and so much more. He pushed the narrative and even did interviews and lectures and sorts in which he says and acts like it is a very real thing.
Have you ever seen a pigeon outside of the city? You will never see a pigeon in a forest. And this makes sense because pigeons didn't actually exist before cities were built.
We think we're so smart. As humans, we put tape over our laptop cameras because we don't want the government watching us, but yet we neglect to pay attention to the birds watching us right outside of our windows.
So that's that. If you've ever heard the phrase, birds aren't real, well, you've been duped. Hell, I've been duped. Schools with classrooms and cafeterias full of students yelling, birds aren't real. All sorts of TikTok bird videos, TikTokers making videos showing the world the strange birds where they are, and we've all been duped. Or have we?
So I was at Trader Joe's this afternoon, and this really lovely older gentleman asked if I wanted to take his cart. And I said, I would love to take your cart. And he goes, thank you so much. And I said, no, thank you so much. And I thought that was the end of the interaction. And then he goes, unprompted, hey, have you heard of that new conspiracy theory? And I am very intrigued, so I say, no, what conspiracy theory are we talking about? And he goes, it's called Birds Aren't Real. It was on every 60 Minutes the other night. And I was like, I actually have heard of Birds Aren't Real. I have a hat of theirs. I happen to really like their merch. And he goes, you know what? I really like those shirts. I think I'm going to get a few of them for my bird watching buddies. And I said, they're going to be really disappointed when they find out that they're the ones actually being watched.
So is this how we wirelessly recharge the birds?
Yes, this is how we wirelessly recharge the birds.
There's a conspiracy theory with hundreds of thousands of followers that was started as a joke. The name of the conspiracy is Birds Aren't Real, and its main claim is that birds aren't real. This dude right here started Birds Aren't Real in the chaos after Trump's election in January 2017. All he did was show up at a protest with a sign that said birds aren't real, and it caught on. Then he built an entire movement around the conspiracy that the CIA killed all birds and replaced them with drones. The premise of this theory is that the CIA was founded to spy on Americans, and instead of Big Brother, think Big Pigeon. And you might be wondering, did anyone actually believe this? The answer? Yes. Hundreds of thousands. Peter has stayed in character since starting Birds Aren't Real, but recently admitted it was all a joke.
Here's the thing. Isn't the job of a cover-up to cover up? If you wanted to make a large group of people discredit an idea, a theory, or maybe a conspiracy, what would you do? Well, one thing I can say for certain is if you already had a tried and true solution that you knew worked, you'd use it. It just so happens the government does have a tried and true method. The cover-up. They cover things up. Roswell, 9/11, JFK assassination, allegedly, just to name a few. Who is to say that this is not the same type of situation? The general public begins to latch on to an insane theory, allegedly specifically directed at a government or alluding to a shadow government. So what do? You send out a plant to let everybody know, hey guys, I just one day was at a protest and made all of this up. This is all just something I made up in my head, and oh, I created a completely satire website all about it. And by the way, I also acted like it was real the entire time. Yeah, I did that. Just for funsies. Isn't it funny? Have you seen all of the videos? Random people across the world posting strange actions, interactions with and of birds. Yeah, all of those I told them all to fake it. Here's where the problem is, at least the problem that I have arises. So some of the hundreds of thousands of videos I am sure are fake and made to make people question reality. But how could they all be faked? How could one man, company, even the government, how could they all fake it? Someone somewhere must have had to have seen something weird and posted it, right? That's where I get stuck every time. They can't all be fake, can they? The thing is, that's the point, right? That's what makes a conspiracy, and that's also what makes them as unbelievable as believable at times. The point of all of this is to show you and me and everyone paying attention that this is the harm of conspiracy theories. This is how easy it is to start and spread conspiracies. Conspiracies can be harmful, but you see, me, I'm trying to convey the opposite. The former is okay to keep in the back of your mind at times, but it is the exact opposite I highly suggest you keep right in the forefront of your thoughts. Look at how easy it is to cover up or rearrange the narrative of an international theory, whether it's conspiracy or not. Look at how easily it is to unconvince the world of something they were previously convinced of. Peter McIndoe was able to make us all believe that birds aren't real. They were just, government drones. And then just as quickly as he made people believe that they weren't real, he switched it all around and said, hey guys, it was all a joke, satire, birds are real. But how many videos have you seen like this?
This bird is literally flying in place.
You can post this on Reddit.
What is going on? This is so weird. Oh my god, this is so weird right now. What is going on? Oh.
He literally glitched. He was broken.
Yeah.
He was glitching.
What the fuck?
And for me, I would like an explanation, which I may never get. But if there is proof that the conspiracy is real, and there's proof that the conspiracy isn't real, or whether there's neither proof to either, both still exist in the world. There are still videos of people showing birds that are glitching, and I'm sure not all of these people know how to use CGI and make things in video editing software. I'm sure that some do, for sure. But what about the ones that don't? What's the excuse for those videos? That's my question. So, conspiracies, they may not all be real. He's right. Some could be dangerous. But it's also not okay to think that no conspiracy is real, because that could be even more dangerous.